Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. It's definitely been a hot minute since I've done this. This feels a little weird sitting down in front of the camera and talking to you guys. My last videos were in the middle of Vlogmas. I was working on my 25 Christmas books in 25 days challenge, and then I just kind of dropped off. So I thought today would be a great day to just sit down in front of my new bookshelves in my new apartment and just have a little chat with you guys about where the heck I've been for the last, what, 3 months? Yeah, because life is definitely a lot different. Well, first let me just say hello, and I have missed you. And thank you for still being subscribed to my channel and checking into this video today, and for any of the new subscribers that I have gotten over the last few months. I see you guys when you pop in, and it makes me so happy that even when I'm not posting regularly, that you are still here. So this is, as you can probably see by the thumbnail and the title, this isn't an easy conversation for me to be having. So I have moved because I am getting divorced. I don't know, it feels weird to say that. Like, I don't know. This is primarily a channel where I talk about books and reading and obviously my writing journey. But I do also talk about my life, my kids. I've mentioned my husband in the past. He's never been on the channel. My kids are not featured on the channel at all, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon just because they are so little. They are 7. So if you happen to be just clicking into this video because you're experiencing something similar and it showed up on your page and you're not familiar with me or my life, my name is Amara Franklin. This is, again, primarily a channel where I talk about books and writing, but I do, again, talk about my family, and I have 7-year-old twins who are, oh my god, they're amazing, and they're so smart, and they're so silly, and they're so good, and they're so crazy. I often refer to them as my little minions, because if you've seen the Minions or Despicable Me movies, you will understand that is literally what I am raising, is just a couple of minions. Who also love to hack my social media and emails and Amazon. Oh, and today, Target and bought hundreds of dollars worth of stuff I had to cancel. Yeah. Hackers. I get nervous and I start just talking. Anyways, I also have Franklin. This is little Frankie Pants. He's the other part of our family. Yes. So I guess I should just kind of start at the beginning, I guess. So I met my husband in 2009, the very beginning of 2009, and we basically have been together ever since. And online and on social media and with even friends and family, I always wanted to give this perception that we were so happy and we have this great life, because that's what everybody does, right? Social media is just a highlight reel. You hear people say it all the time, but it's true. You know, nobody wants to come onto a book page and hear, you know, that the creator is in an unhappy and toxic relationship, because that's not what you're here for. But that's what it was. It was very unhealthy and very toxic for a very long time, even before we were married. We were together for years. We met in 2009, we got married in 2012, and there were times even leading up to us getting married that I wondered if I was making the right choice, because there were a lot of red flags, but I loved him. And I just chose to overlook my gut instincts and those red flags that were popping up, and see the controlling tendencies and the emotional, the beginnings of the emotional abuse, and just overlook it, you know, because I loved him, and he had a complicated history and a complicated family, and he had depression, and there was all of these reasons that I had to excuse away behaviors that shouldn't be excused. And slowly, I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. You don't just get into a relationship and then the next thing you know, you're in an abusive, toxic relationship. It happens slowly and it happens over time. And you're able to chip away at who you are when you're in that kind of relationship. And that's exactly what happened. You know, I was very isolated. I moved out here to Oregon. I didn't have any family. It's hard to make friends when you're a grown-up. And so all I really had was this relationship and this marriage. And then we had children and a family. And then it made it even harder to walk away. Even as the negative arguments, or kind of the toxic arguments, turned into real emotional and verbal abuse. And then when that abuse turned physical, there was always an excuse for it. You know, he had an excuse, or I had an excuse, or, you know, I was easy to just explain it away to myself, you know, not to other people, because you never wanted to share with other people, you know, what was going on. And you know, I questioned whether or not I should even say all this, and maybe I won't. Maybe I'll end up cutting it all out of the video. But the reason I share this is when you're in that kind of a relationship and you're in that situation, it is isolating, and it is easy to feel like you're alone. And I think that sharing my experience is just, I don't know. I don't know. Good for people to know, if you're in an experience like this, that you're not alone, that you're not the only one. And sadly, this happens a lot. And there are resources out there, and it isn't okay. And if you see red flags, or you have this like gut instinct that something is not right, that's probably because it's not. And that if you don't change or get away from, or, you know, I don't know what I'm saying. Dude, are you really trying to hump my arm while I'm filming a video? Out of here. If you excuse away and forgive these behaviors when they first start popping up, they very likely will escalate. And it isn't a situation where abuse is, you know, linear. It doesn't always happen like this. It happens up and down. It's not like this happened every day, you know. There were months where it was clusters, where it was just awful. And then months, even, you know, years where there was not any physical abuse. And then there would be, and then it was a lot of ups and downs. And I slowly, over the last few years, started to really see the toll that this was having on myself and on my boys, and even on my husband, you know. And I started thinking it's time to leave, and tried at one point and felt guilty and came back. And I had to really struggle with the mom guilt of, is this the right thing to do? Because at that time, it wasn't physical anymore. And it hadn't been physical for a while, but the emotional and verbal abuse was still there on the daily. The control was still there on the daily. And then I just started gaining my own strength, and I wasn't as isolated anymore. You know, I had great people in my corner, two specific, like, really good friends that I don't really know where I'd be without them. And then I decided I just wanted to get through the holidays, and that was really my goal in December, was to just get through the holidays for the kids. And I started looking at apartments, and I found the one that I'm in now, and I fell in love with it, and I applied for it, and I got it. And I told my ex in January that I was going to be moving out, and it got physical again. And this time it was really bad. And I don't want to, you know, I question whether or not I should even put this on the internet. Again, I do this sometimes I think for my own healing, I think telling my story is scary and it's stressful, but it also helps me a lot. But also I think it helps other people too. And I also question whether or not I should be saying this, you know, because even though I'm really angry with my ex, he is still the father of my children. And you know, what if they come across this video in the future? But they already know everything. They were there and they saw it. They witnessed everything. And in fact, it was one of my children that called the police. And that saved me. It really did. And so we're all dealing with a lot of emotions from all of that. But I also saw, I think it was an Instagram reel, and this quote just sticks in my head, that if they didn't want people to know what they did, they shouldn't have done it. And that keeps kind of going around in my head a lot, that, you know what, like, why do I have to feel like I have to be silent about what he did to me? Why do I feel this pressure to keep it inside and to not tell people, out of really still protecting him? Because if he didn't want people to know that he abused me, he maybe shouldn't have done that, you know? So that happened on it was like the night of the 16th of January into the morning of the 17th, and he was arrested. Now, again, I moved out. I'm still actually getting stuff from my old apartment. It's taking me like a month. I have a few more things to get, but he's out of that apartment. He's not here. We have a restraining order and a no contact order, and he is facing some pretty serious charges. I had to testify in front of a grand jury, which was difficult. It's hard to sit here and talk to a camera about it. Imagine sitting in a room with a DA and 6 or 7 strangers telling every single thing that happened. It was incredibly stressful, incredibly traumatic. And afterwards, they ended up finding that there was enough evidence. There wasn't just my testimony. The police were there. The ones that were there that night testified. There was a whole bunch of stuff. I don't really know the details of the grand jury. I just know that after that, my ex was charged with 10 felonies and 3 misdemeanors. So most of the felonies, and just, you know, not all assaults are considered felonies in Oregon. I believe that the majority of the felonies are because it would be a misdemeanor, but because the children were a witness, that makes the charges more serious. And I have a lot of guilt on myself because I should have left sooner. Because maybe they wouldn't be going through as much, and my baby wouldn't have had to have that on him, that he called the police and then daddy got arrested. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of heavy stuff. So I'm definitely going to be leaving resources down below. So if you or somebody you know is in a domestic violence situation, there are resources, there are places you can go to keep yourself safe and to protect yourself. And even if it's not physical, emotional abuse is abuse. Verbal abuse is abuse. Nobody deserves to be treated like that. You have the right in your relationship, whatever the relationship is, whether it's with a friend, a partner, a family member, to feel safe and to feel appreciated and to feel valued. I mean, appreciated, valued is basically the same thing, but to feel safe, and especially when it's your romantic partner, you have to be in a partnership. And I don't think we ever were. I found a journal entry from 2014 talking about how much we fought, and that could have been written 6 months ago. So it's a lot. I'm not working right now. I'm still employed, but I'm on a leave of absence because my healing process is ongoing. I felt like today was a good day to sit down and chat with you guys because I feel like I'm finally ready to start getting back to the things that I love. You know, I want to get back to writing. I actually started a reading vlog. It's a try a chapter reading vlog that should be out in a couple of days. Feels a little weird. It's probably not going to be my normal, like, you know, attempted aesthetic vlogging, but I'm getting back to it, you know. I'm laughing more. I have great friends. I got to actually go out with Rayleigh Bradshaw, who is another author tuber. She hasn't posted in a long time, but she's a dear friend that I met here through AuthorTube, and we've met up once before. She lives really close to me. We went to lunch last week, I think it was. My best friend is here like all the time, and I was in such a controlled situation that there was one day I wanted to go to lunch with her, or to go meet up with her for coffee. So I had to tell my ex that I was going to do DoorDash deliveries, which I did. I did some DoorDash deliveries, and I did that because he didn't like my friend, and I was too scared to tell him I was going out for coffee. And now I can hang out with Lindsay anytime I want to, and it's great. I'm just starting to feel more like myself than I have in a really long time, and it feels pretty good. I'm gonna be starting therapy in a couple of weeks. I have an appointment on the 22nd, and I just spoke with somebody from our local domestic violence resource place that does group therapy classes. So I'm gonna be doing that as well. Just learning more about healing and coping and domestic violence, and just more in general about how this healing process is going to go. Because I have a lot of things, I guess, to work through. I guess that's really all I wanted to say. Thank you. I know this is kind of a long, rambly video, but feels good though to finally kind of tell the truth, or my truth, you know, and be as transparent as I can without, you know, I don't want to go over the specific details of what happened because it is still difficult to talk about. But again, just know that if you are in this situation, you're not alone. I will definitely be looking up some resources for you. So check the description box, reach out to a friend, a loved one. If you are religious, you know, reach out to somebody from your church. Anybody that you can, to just keep yourself safe and protect not only your physical, but you know, your mental health as well is incredibly important. I have a lot of anxieties and panic disorder, and I don't know, just a lot of things. So keep yourself safe, and you know what to do, my friends. Go, what is it that I normally say? Oh yeah, go write some words and read a book, and I will see you guys very, very soon with a new reading vlog.